I want to talk to you a little bit as far as the combine prep scenario and specifically gearing it towards the football player. I mean, how long should a football player spend on preparing for the combine, and then how much time do you spend focusing on teaching each aspect of that specific evaluation?
It's awesome. I'm glad you asked this question because I love combine preparation. And I'm a firm believer if you're a practitioner and you really want to challenge yourself, how well you understand mechanics, how well you understand rate of force development, how well you understand biomechanical assessment of multidirectional pattern, and how well you are at quick periodization strategies and how well your tapering systems are, I tell you to do combine training because it's an unbiased watch. It's an unbiased evaluator who's evaluating your athletes, and it's one great way to see if you know your stuff or not. With that being said, back in the day when I first started doing combine prep was about 15 years ago, and I used to think the more time I had, the better. And one thing that I found is actually that kind of tended to bite me in the rear a little bit. And what I mean by that is most combine preps, you'll have about 8 weeks to prepare guys. And you usually have the ability to go a 3 up, 1 down, and then a 3 down, 1 week taper, or however you do your taper. I typically do a 10 to 14 day model of a stair step down. But what I found is doing 2 mesocycles of that works out perfectly with the timing of the collegiate all-star games. So I like almost an 8-week window with guys. Before I've had guys who seasons don't last as long. They don't play on New Year's Day and their season's done mid-December or late November. I've started those athletes early, and what I've found is that you can get some real mental burnout with those athletes because they have been training longer than everybody else. And usually those athletes who are on that back end of a schedule, usually they're a pro day invite anyway, so they have even longer time. Again, in some aspects, longer time is better, particularly if you're coming off of an injury. But I like a good 8-week window. 3-1, 3-1 is how I like to do combine prep.
At some point, you're going to sit down with a young man that's preparing for the combine there, or even a young lady who came in and their coach gave her the evaluation at the end of the year, and what you're going to read on there or hear from them is, I want to develop my breakaway speed. And how do you go about answering that question or implementing a program that really helps them, separate themselves from their competition?
The biggest thing goes back to acceleration. I think the 2 biggest things that are missed when we look at sport speed is pure acceleration, more force and less time is the goal, and then ultimately transitional mechanics. And when I talk transitional mechanics, I'm talking about I always look at like agility work. To me, agility work is bridging the gap of 2 acceleration bouts. And how well do I accelerate, decelerate, go into my multi-directional pattern, whatever that may be, whether it's a shuffle, a slide, who knows what it is, and then how quickly can I get back into acceleration? That's the goal. And when we talk about breakaway speed in sport, we know we only have a couple steps of acceleration, then we've got some sort of multi-directional movement. Well, how quickly can I get back to acceleration? That is going to determine how well I have breakaway speed. I don't care if somebody's faster than you on the watch. If you can be more efficient in a phone booth, you're going to beat them on the one-on-one battles.